Definitely ain't me.
Should have had you guys type this.
Oh, no, you wouldn't have it yet.
Okay.
And then, and Lorelei, just with all of those, when you have the number in the heading, like 8.02 penalties, all of the ABCs just get indented and we're good. Everything else in my review is fine. It's good. Very good.
I have one question. If I take this permit out, does it ever end? I don't see an end.
Yeah, 6 months. It's in there.
Is it?
Yep.
Where?
The last 6 months.
Did I miss it?
Yeah.
Yep, and it's under temporary driveways.
That's in the ordinance itself, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, driveway permits are effective for 6 months from the date of issuance.
Okay.
Good question.
Now you got the culvert in before the construction starts. I've always done it the other way, because I don't wanna crush
Yeah,
it.
they can't have a tail.
Concrete trucks and, put your finished driveway in and then build your house.
But if a culvert's not in the right of way, you don't need to.
So are we all on the same page with the corrections made to that? So I would entertain a motion to recommend this to the board with the changes we made tonight.
And we got all of our corrections or noted or for Lorelei.
You sure you don't want me to do it over again and get it to you? I
Do
mean,
we
it's
wanna
not
look
like
at-
it's not in effect.
Do we want to
Yeah,
look
it's
at it one more
already,
time?
it's already in effect, right?
Right. Well,
So
this
it's a
new
matter-
one will be a new ordinance. I mean, because I made, I
Right,
deleted
made
some stuff.
changes, but.
So we
Bring
could
her
look at it, we could look at the final
Again.
one more time.
Okay. All right.
I
On
mean,
next
essentially,
month's
I'm
agenda.
fine with the
Alright.
board changes.
Okay.
So next meeting would be final review, right?
Final review next meeting.
Didn't you have to leave, Adam?
I got a little time yet,
Okay.
about 10 or 15 minutes.
I just didn't want you to be late.
Thank you.
All right.
Alright, operations ordinance discussion.
Is this Christie's ball game here?
I think it is.
Is it my ball game?
Here's your operations
Then wherever
ordinance.
you leave off, then Rob's gonna take over, cause he's got something else he wants to do.
If we have time.
All right,
If we have,
I will just open up the idea of the operations ordinance. So I'm dealing with a couple different things in different counties of groups that I'm working with. And to kind of piggyback off of Rob's concern about the data mining situation and those facilities going in and the amount of energy they're pulling and the water resources they're pulling, and there's establishing next to renewable resources like the solar fields we have here in Saratoga. We do truly need to look at an operating ordinance for two types of facilities, actually. Operating ordinances for data mining facilities, like the AI things. I know everybody should have probably watched that thing right now. The state of Wisconsin is actually looking at presenting a bill in regards to data mining facilities right now. It is not expected to reach the Assembly or the Senate this session, probably not even next session, because they have a ton of pushback from lobbyists in regards to making them share how much water they're using, making them share how much energy they're pulling off the grid, because like that video actually said, they're saying that that is proprietary data. So there's things in regards to an operating ordinance that we could put in regards to if a facility should come in, they can only use X amount of water, or they have to share in advance how much water they're going to use. I mean, there's ordinances out there that towns have already passed in the state of Wisconsin that we could look at and steal from, and I don't think that's a bad idea. In regards to solar, who knows if another solar facility is going to come in here? Who knows if the battery stations, from the one that's going in Rome is going to facilitate here in Saratoga. There is operating ordinance stipulations that we could put in place in regards to fire plans, how many feet of barrier around each battery generating station, or space in between each generating station, and how many high capacity wells they need, because if those things start on fire, it's huge. You should have a rubber mat underneath them because of the contaminants that drain into the ground. Right now, the operating ordinance that had gone through the state 2 sessions ago included all of those things. They were trying to preempt local control from putting in operation or ordinances against livestock sighting, the whole CAFO situation we have done before. They had lumped solar in with it. They have lumped the AI piece into it. And there is discussion in Madison with legislators fighting. So they're instead of one bill preempting any kind of local control, there's 3 bills. The farming bill is preempting no local control. The solar bill that's going forward, and actually did get assigned a number a couple weeks ago, is saying that, well, the communities have the option to say no, they're not welcome. And the AI data one it's not even out of the gate, quite frankly. So right now, we have the prime opportunity to put something in our local ordinance to protect ourselves before the state comes in and says, oh, you know what, we're not going to let any local control go on those things. If we get them in right now, even if it's fairly generic, or if it is, we copy it from somebody else and just put it in place and then we revisit it later to make it more pertinent to our community, it would be smart to get something on the books and protecting our community until we have time necessarily to dissect it and really dive in. But they're coming fast and furious. I read up on data mining after watching that video of how many actually were presented here in the state of Wisconsin just recently, and there was up to 5 that communities were not prepared to deal with, did not have anything on their books, and of course then fighting. And one of the senators that is trying to promote the one against the AI data centers is because one was promoted in one of her small communities here in Wisconsin. So I don't want to throw oh my gosh, we have to do this right now, but it's not something we can do a year from now either. We need to be prepared, and if that means we adopt something that's kind of generic to our community that we just stole from somebody else until we have time to go back and really dissect it and make it more pertainable, it's probably safer than not having anything on the books. And all of a sudden, we have a lot of land for sale, and all of a sudden something's there, and it's too late. So I guess that's just my push, that we need to be proactive, even if it's proactive, like I said, with something that's already out there that we can copy and then make it our own after we have that safeguard in place. I mean, it just makes sense, because we are actually a very prime target, like Rob had brought up. We are a prime target for a data center. And yeah, that's where we're at. And even the state at this point is concerned that there's multiple places around the state that are concerned that they're starting to look at legislation. But, that's about as slow as molasses in January, so.
The AI data center that was supposed to go in Wisconsin Rapids, what happened to that?
It got canned. I'm not sure why that fell apart, but it is no longer coming in.
I heard it was people pushback, but somebody at the table said they thought it was.
I said it was power. I asked my son outright, he looked at 16
Yeah, I did.
machine. He said there's not enough power here.
They
Not there for
They were
them.
gonna use the turbine by the dam and
Yep.
use the turbines, but the update.
And even that wasn't enough.
And the update and the upkeep was probably not worth it.
Well,
That's what I heard.
they needed that off Centralia Dam also, and they couldn't get everything.
And I don't think there was enough public that even understood what was happening, because it was very quiet.
My son looked at that article and he said, they said how many people they're gonna employ. He said, look, what they were gonna do would fit in 6 storage containers. There wouldn't have been very many people employed.
And it wasn't, there wasn't a lot of, media on it. I don't think the people even realized it.
Until they announced
was-
it.
Yeah, until they announced it, and it had been going in, because originally it was going into the mill, and then it
That's
moved
what I had
outside of
heard.
the mill. Yeah.
I
mean,
heard the
there was.
people.
Yeah, that was the original plan, and then that didn't work, and then they had a spot outside of the mill area, and that didn't work. But I don't think it was people pushback. I don't think a lot of the public knew what the heck was going on. So,
What you got, Rob? I want to hear what I've got.
Well, I wanna touch base with what Christie says. I think, she's been out there in the real world and sees some of this stuff, and this is all way over our heads. We could sit here and draw up 100 things we don't wanna have in our community or safeguards for our residents, but we can't. As our roundtable, we could just keep bringing information in, doing research and bringing information in, we're gonna miss something. So I think for a safeguard, I'm with Christie that we should try to find an ordinance that's in this state right now that would maybe kind of blanket, cover everything, because we can always, if someone comes in and says, we really wanna do this project and develop, but your ordinances say we can't, but if it's something that we don't have to say, no, you're not gonna have it because our ordinance says you can't, but we could at least have some say into how it's done. Whereas right now we don't. It sounds like these can just, we are a target. They can come in and do it. And
Josh, did you look at that? I sent you a text. I think I sent you a text. Anyway, it's not a big deal. The reason I sent it to you is how much money is available. That's what's happening.
yeah.
You start that big one that they're bringing in, they're offering $175 million for the infrastructure of the town. Now, how many towns like Siegel or Grant that have nothing wouldn't suck that right up?
But
You
you
got
know-
$175 million. I'm not saying it's right,
no, but
and
there's.
I don't think we should have one, but.
Right, but there's a difference too, if you have a community where you can put it way out in the country, where it's not next to your residential
Yep, we're not built
homes
for it.
that are going to
Yeah.
hear and have their wells drawn down from the water intake and things. I mean, they gotta go somewhere,
They do.
but, obviously,
Heavy
our
industrial.
town, yeah.
That's
our-
heavy industrial.
It is, our town is
It's not built for it.
we are fairly populated, and you can't put one of those somewhere where it's not gonna impact residents somewhere. So, yeah, there is places, the town of Grant has a ton of, agriculture land out there. If they put it out there, it probably wouldn't interfere with the residents too much. It may suck up some of the water and that, and however they wanna do their water credits or a type of, but
I don't think
Yeah.
anywhere right here is really built
it's
for
not,
that.
I don't think so either, but.
A prime target, and I don't know do we have like boundary agreements like with Nakusa? Because what happens to these is they go to the city of Nakusa and they say, annex that piece across the river. In the rivers, there is their water.
Water source.
The water source.
You don't have to pump it, not per se.
Right.
It's a dangerous spot. Right now, you just don't have the juice for it. Too much. I mean, that big data center would suck up what we got in our solar in no time.
Well, that's what I was gonna mention. You said that, you had heard that it was a lack of power, and if they don't have enough power where the mill was, we definitely don't have enough power out here.
Unless they build more solar.
Right.
Right.
Well,
There's more land available.
right
To build
now,
more solar.
my son's flying, or well, was gonna fly. He doesn't want to get on a plane right now. When they go to Colorado, you find a building that's got 100 megawatts available, the investors will buy it. They don't even care as long as the floor will hold the data center because they're becoming short.
There's an article here from, this is a AI data center was planned for Wisconsin Rapids by Digital Power Optimization, will not be built because of negotiations between the company and local power company. Consolidated Water Power Company fell through. Although the company had announced a $200 million project, they officially withdrew their plans in July, citing the site was not suitable. It said it was only 20 megawatts.
Yeah, and that's a small one.
That's small.
Yep,
Yeah.
very small, but that was
And
an AI.
to
that is-
employ 20 people.
We should-
AI is different than.
We should
regular
differentiate because there's 30%, from what I'm told, 30% of the data centers are AI. The rest are anytime you pick your phone up, if your car is newer than 2018, when you start it,
Bye.
Thank
see
you.
Adam,
See you next time.
when you start your car and it lets Sirius know if you're part of the system, you're going through a data center.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So
Because
it's
it's all
an
internet.
informational warehouse. It's the
we
best
have
that
to
I've
have
been
them.
told.
We have to have them.
Yeah,
It's
but
just-
heavy industrial areas is where they should be.
I think we should consider what Christie said. I think, we should, maybe for the next meeting, have some sort of outline piggy bank, ordinance.
I'm
So
looking.
that, in
I did find some.
examples,
and
I was gonna say,
I mean,
have
I
we
think
looked
we
to
should,
see?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bookmarked them, I just didn't print any off, but I can bring
but
them. to next.
I'm for that. I don't know if
Yeah.
anybody else is. I think we
Well,
Oh, yeah,
place
we
to
need
start.
something.
Yeah,
We
a
should
place
get-
to start.
we can
yeah.
always retract whatever and still work
Or
with
add.
something, or, well, we will be adding, I'm sure, to
Does Adam get a
like you
copy of
said.
this?
I don't
Oh,
think so.
no, shoot.
Oh, I get it.
There's no- no big-
And I
that's no
actually,
big
you know,
deal.
I'm gonna correct myself a little bit because I looked on, operations ordinance for solar and
Oh,
for
I found a
data.
lot of those.
And solar, there's a lot, and I don't think it's, even though we already have solar, if any more solar is coming in, I don't think it's bad for us to have one,
Right.
where we can have
I
them
don't know where it
address.
would come in.
What's that?
I don't know where it would come in.
But, you know, we still have all these people with 40-acre parcels and here and there, and, you know, you never know, you just never know.
The other
Can we-
1,500 acres that they didn't
Yeah.
use.
Can we regulate power to a parcel? Limit the amount of power?
I don't know that you can limit the amount of power because it's kind of like the solar is kind of like the cable thing. You can't stop them from coming in, but you can regulate, for example,
I'm not
bonding on roads.
I'm talking the usage of power, not
Oh,
the
usage
generation.
of power?
The
That
data center side.
I don't know. That I don't know on the data center side. I honestly do not. I'd have to invest
Commercial
more time.
power, we can regulate commercial lighting, we can regulate, so
I
why
just don't know,
couldn't
cause
we-
that's the key, cause if you can regulate the power, you can regulate what goes
I
there,
mean, we
as
can,
far as the data center.
I guess we'd have to look into that. I don't know. I do know there is tons of operation ordinances in regards to solar, in regards to the road
Cafos.
traffic and the building and the
seen all
amount of
that.
space you have to have around your,
Facility,
well, not only facility, but, storage, your battery storage.
batteries,
or-
depending
Yes.
on the battery type.
Yep, well, I mean, but with your operations ordinance, you can determine that, so for fire accessibility, if something should start on fire that they can't start on fire, they have to be so many feet away. I mean, there's multiple things you can do with that. In regards to the data storage, it's a fairly new thing. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research. I'm not sure that I actually found ones pre-built for those, but I will look.
You know what's new about it is, data centers have been around quite a while, how dense they have become for power.
Right,
A data center, a rack that need, right now, they're 5 times the amount of power in a single rack that they were 10 years ago.
and the
So-
size is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and they've condensed it, so yes, they use a lot of juice.
We need to implement this though, because we went through the
Cables, they-
first solar thing and they said no storage batteries, then they said we only want 3, and now we've got 96, and before the 96 come in, we weren't ready for it, and during the process of a couple meetings, we did ask for, is there gonna be a bladder underneath this 5-acre gravel? What's gonna happen when one catches on fire and all the water gets sprayed on it and the chemicals? Well, we're just gonna dig it back out of the ground, we'll just dig contaminated stuff out of the ground, and that's not a good answer.
Right,
It
Containment.
there was no protection to our residents at all, and there still isn't, and it's there. Now we get a data center that catches on fire and the foam that sprays inside of it, we don't have any city water, any municipal, where's all that gonna go? And I think we need to have some safeguards in effect this go around, if this happens, or even the next solar plant, I don't know where that's at, if they're gonna use batteries or not, but water, they
That's a
need
good
water
point.
on site, they need lots of water, and that, all that was discussed at the meeting, but it was too late, and I don't know how much we were able to get implemented or not. I know some of the water issues were, but as far as water, ground contamination, that was,
so for our
So-
next meeting, we need,
we should discuss operating ordinances of some sort, or try to,
And I think we should discuss operating ordinances for both
For
topics,
solar.
because who knows if land's gonna go for sale and another solar's gonna come in, or like the solar thing in Rome is going to contract or buy or lease or whatever land here in Saratoga for their battery storage units, that we have some kind of ordinance in place that protects them and insists on the bladder underneath and insists, how many square
Water.
feet around for fire safety to keep them separate from each other. I mean, it's best practice because we have them here, and there may be more coming, or
There might
or
not be.
maybe more coming that start somewhere else and just kind of leak into ours, for a small period of time. So I think both of those areas should be on the agenda, and I will definitely take on the looking for ordinances, because I'm kind of involved in that at the state level anyway.
So I think I'd like to word that, next agenda, or next meeting agenda item is discussion and possible drafting of operation ordinances.
I think that's a good idea.
And I'll say operation ordinances because we may have
Right.
more than one.
Yeah, more
Right.
than one.
Whether we split them or
Right?
find a
I
way to
think
combine
that's,
them.
yeah, I think that's perfect. And
Do
I
you think
will,
there's like ordinance templates out there?
there is, I have definitely seen some for solar that, some
Okay.
communities that
I'll
have some that we
research that a lot
definitely
too and
could
see.
we could copy.
Yeah.
The other one in regards to the storage or the data, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult, but we could go out of state area and look, because I know that
Yeah.
other states that are, that Virginia and other ones,
Texas is the big one.
Texas, Arizona has had a huge impact, so I know there's
Yeah.
some there that we could, adopt and modify as we need to.
So wasn't there an AI going in Beloit?
Well, the
Maybe
data
the data
center,
center, is that what they're, that's what they're,
Beloit and,
Kenosha.
or was it Racine or something?
no, that's not the
just
one I'm
seen
thinking of.
Port Washington.
Port Washington
Port
is the one
Washington.
I
That
was
one's
thinking of.
huge. That's like
Yeah.
the mother of all.
And the
Data
elected
centers.
official for Port Washington is the one spearheading the legislation right now, but she is struggling to get backers because it's seen as like a money situation for
huge, huge
Wisconsin.
money. Yeah.
However, she does have a lot of support from, for lack of a better word, environmental folks, because of, they don't have to report essentially how much water they're using. They don't have to report how much energy they're using because they call it proprietary, whatever. And so that's really what her bill is about. It's not about not letting them in or limiting them. It's about forcing them to disclose their water usage per day and their energy usage per day. And that bill right now is probably not going to make it in through this session.
Is that water recycled, do you know?
I think you lose 35% of it.
You lose some of it.
What are you losing it for? If
They-
it's just a cooling mechanism,
The condensation, my understanding is
Probably
it goes out
evaporation,
through the pipes.
It depends on if it's closed loop or not. If you, Weston Power Plant loses money, it loses it
Out
through
through
their
the
cooling
pipes,
tower,
yeah.
cause they use it too.
that'd be good to know, because if it's being reused, it's going back in the river, is it going back hot? Which kills
Which
vegetation
kills
and wildlife.
vegetation as
Right.
well, yeah.
Well, I know the power plant, cause they worked on that expansion, and that one has to cool it to a certain temperature before they can put it back.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but they're huge. We put 2 10-foot pipes in, one coming in and one going out. They use a lot of water for cooling. And a data center will use, if it's a water cooled one, we'll use the same thing.
Billions of gallons.
All right, that'll be my task. I will definitely
I think
I'll
that's
look
a
too.
good idea.
bring and share, and Josh, I'll just share what I find with you.
Sure.
And how you choose to share it with the committee prior to our meeting is, whatever you need to do legally is on you.
Can
That's
we-
on you.
Are we open to looking stuff up and sending it too, or is it just you?
Oh, gosh, no,
Oh,
anybody.
yeah,
that wants
everybody
to,
might
I
as well
would
look. You gotta come with ideas.
But I mean, I know that I have stuff from the state level that
Yeah,
they're already
right,
working
you
on that
already-
I
yeah,
can
so that's
tap
already-
into.
Anything you wanna add?
Okay,
Yeah, I wanna, we'll go through this sheet real fast. But
Sure.
first of all, if anybody watched that video, that's all really one-sided, but it just kinda tells you what an AI data building is, that's all. But it's one-sided, and I don't think we should look at it that way as a board. We have to be, a little more subjective. We might have, some property near the river that Domtar isn't using that the water's there and maybe some power from the solar plants. And maybe it's in an area where it's not gonna bother any residents. The key here is that we're not using any water out of our aquifer so that we don't bother the 10 miles creek, the 7 Mile Creek, or anybody's groundwater levels, and we don't have any light or sound pollution.
Can I ask you a question? It says, I've been reading some articles and it says that the cost it makes the electric bills of the residents go up. How does that affect the cost of the electric bills?
It's because they try to target, well, let's go down this sheet.
Okay.
Why we want it here is because, first of all, Wisconsin is advocating for these. They want
Right.
these in Wisconsin.
I see that.
They give AI projects tax breaks, and it's listed here on the property, equipment, software, cooling systems, and it goes by the population of the area that is surrounded the
Municipality?
municipality, the city. So that's how it's based on how many millions they will allow. But that's a rundown right from economic development, how many millions that are on the line here. So the state is advocating, they want these here. Tax benefits are good for 5 years. They are targeting renewable energies so that they don't have to take power off of the grid that we're using now. Which, if they do it off the grid now they have to update all of the transmission lines and coal plants or however they're getting it, and then we're paying for that as residents because AI needs the more power. So they target solar projects specifically because it's not on the grid yet, and they can get it and not have a problem with it. We already have all these new transmission lines and power grids and transformer. I mean, I don't know if they've made them big enough to accept one of these already. We don't know that. All that might
Depends on the
already
one
be.
they put in. Yeah.
I don't know. You go down Mill Avenue and that's an awful lot of wires. It's an awful lot of wires and they're big. We've got the land around here, the river, we got the water, and actually we have an aquifer here that's got a lot of water in it. They like cool climates, northern parts of the country. And we have 2 solar projects. The number one that's here is 150 megawatts, and the second one's 150.5. The next one they're building. So that's 300 megawatts. That's a lot of electricity that they don't have to pull off the grid. So all of these are wins. The power station, the hydro dam in Petenwell, the wires go right to the battery station here, right behind this solar plant. It's going to go right between them. Those wires that puts out 101 megawatts a year. So there's more power that a facility could use if they could get it. These power lines from Mill Avenue, I followed them on Google Maps, and there's a solar project south of Watoma. These ones that go across Mill Avenue and Evergreen by your house and stuff by Becker's, they end up in a substation by a solar plant in Watoma that's putting out 99 megawatts. So there's plenty of power for a database to get right where we are right now. So good things about them, we got to have them, you know. And there's a few jobs. Most of the jobs is 80% of the revenue that for labor is generated through the construction. So our economic development surveys from what we paid to have that company do, there was a specific question in there from our economic development plan about solar projects, and there it is. Would they be good for the town? 42% no. This is right from our residents, right out of our plans. So it's maybe a split the way I look at them. The residents would be okay with a data center, and half of them might not. I don't know. Data center isn't the same as a solar plant, but that's right out of our survey that was sent out. So,
Most people don't know what a data center does.
no,
Yeah.
or how much water they use or whatever. They need lots of power, and there's going to be lots of extra power lines. There's lots of noise. Cooling fans and the equipment, all of that's noise. They use a lot of cleaning chemicals inside of there to keep them electrical parts clean. Is that gonna go into a tank? And if we don't have any of these in an ordinance, even if it's not, if we don't have any of these, they're gonna just do whatever's the easiest and the fastest and the cheapest. And so, but fire suppression chemicals, same thing. They have a lot of those.
Halon, they use a lot of Halon.
We don't have a water treatment facility, so it's not good for us right now. If one come in and wouldn't know what to do with the water, or at least know how to address that, make them have to be accountable for a fire and where that water would go. There's lots of lights. Water usage depends on how they cool them.
Right.
Some of them even use a cooling loop like air conditioners do with Freon and
That's the way the one is in Port Edwards.
and so they don't even use water, but a big one, they all use water, and that's why they're putting them near water, especially the Great Lakes area.
Can I add one thing to your bad there?
Yeah,
Your
I was
backup
trying to-
generators,
Yes, yeah,
many of them and huge.
that was on there, but where I was reading, it said the offset of the carbon for those
It's the
generators, but it would be the noise if it was in a long period of time, it definitely would. The average data center that they're building right now, and that doesn't mean that's what it's going to be or would be, but it's about the size of Walmart physical size, and they use between 100 and 500 megawatts. So if they used 500 megawatts, they're going to be using, and that's more than what our 2 solar farms are putting out right now. But if you add some other stuff together that we've got here, we have the perfect storm for one of these. I guess we can work on the operating. What we can do as a community here, some other communities, you can make an AI facility, a special ordinance or a special conditional uses. We can call them, we can label them as heavy industrial, update our zoning. We can change setbacks, landscape, all of that stuff we could draw up or try to draw up, but I think an operating ordinance would work.
Can we limit to where we put them?
Well, that's
You can.
the
Because
zoning.
we only have one industrial area, and that's right off from
Put it in
church,
your,
right?
Yeah,
listed in your operating ordinance, that would be the one and only place that they could possibly even look at.
Yeah, but would the state allow that?
I don't
Being
know.
so restrictive. I mean, because they didn't allow it like when it came to those towers and stuff. Remember, they tried to restrict them only into certain areas, and then the state said, you can't be that restrictive. So
You
how do you?
can until the state puts in a law that says you can't. And if yours is already in place, yours is already in place. So, for example, right now, I'll jump to a different issue that I'm dealing with is livestock operation ordinances.
Yeah.
The whole CAFO situation, I'm still involved in that. There is no state law that preempts any county or
Sure.
town from putting in a livestock ordinance. You cannot ban a CAFO,
Right,
but you can put in, for
Parameters.
example, working in a county next door to us, we're saying that regardless if the state calls you a CAFO, if you reach 1,000 animal units because you're expanding or you're coming in,
Yeah.
here's an operating ordinance and you have to meet all these requirements.
Right.
We're not gonna tell you no, but you have to meet all these
Yeah.
requirements. And at the county level, there's been about 4 counties across the state, and there's been about 20 townships across the state that have adopted this pretty much the same ordinance. And it's not saying you can't come in,
it's just.
but when
being
those
restrictive.
people look at you, they're like, we're not coming into your community because we're not gonna do that.
Well,
And
then-
so it just deters them from
What-
coming in.
Then for this data center, wouldn't it be just smart to say you can come into an industrial area and that would put them over by the river, and if you don't like it, too bad. I mean, wouldn't it be that simple?
No, because I think you need a higher level of restriction.
Okay.
How much energy are you gonna
Well,
pull?
that's what
What are you
I
gonna
thought.
do with the water? Are you putting
Yeah.
hot water back into a river? Are you putting
Okay.
cold water back in? So yes, limit where they can go,
Yeah.
absolutely in your ordinance, for sure. But then I think there needs to be, for example, bonding. If you are going to
yeah.
be building this facility and you're gonna be running on our town roads that aren't built like county roads, highway roads, and you're bringing all this heavy equipment, you gotta put so much bonding on these roads that you're gonna fix them when you're done. And when you build this facility, you have to have X amount of feet around every single building, in between each building, for fire protection in case one would start on fire, the second building, because it's never just one building. It's one building, next to a building, next to a building, and so you force them to be so far apart to have fire access in
Yeah.
between. So really what an operation ordinance isn't so much about, if you come in, this is all the things you have to do.
Yeah.
It's look at this town, if we go in there, they're gonna make us jump through this hoop, but if we go 50 miles down the road to this town, we don't have to. So it's more of a deterrent from
Yeah.
them coming.
Kind of like our mining ordinance.
Yes,
9 page.
yes, but also is protection. So if you are hell bent on coming to our community,
Yeah.
you are gonna abide by our rules. And these are them for the
Yeah.
health, safety, and welfare of our community. This is what you need to do. Can't keep them out, but we can definitely enforce that for the health, safety, and welfare of our community. This is what you're gonna do. And 9 times out of 10, you know, when we're looking at when I'm working with the livestock folks, this one huge swine producer now is on his 3rd county because he went to the first county way up northern Bayfield and they put in the operation ordinance, and we're not abiding by those rules, so they went to Pierce. Pierce
Yeah.
County put in the same ordinance. They're like, hell no, we're not gonna do that. And now they're on to their 3rd one, and they're getting closer to central Wisconsin, and so Portage County is now
Yeah.
putting in theirs. So,
Haven't there been some lawsuits over this though between farmers and municipalities? No?
nope, not for operations ordinance. It's totally, absolutely legal. They can't say, no, you can't come in, but they have absolutely the right now.
You do have to write this one up right though, because the money here is huge. If they wanna
It
come,
is.
they're gonna come.
Yeah.
But they're going to go somewhere where they don't have to fight and put forth that money versus somewhere where they're gonna have to come and force and put forth the money.
And one of the deterrents might be just plain old legal cost. You pay for the legal cost for us to research this, for us to
Yep.
research that, yeah,
And that's what a lot of the operations ordinance is.
Yeah.
They have to foot the bill
yeah.
for researching
I
the
can see that.
environmental impact, the water
Yep.
resource impact,
Yeah.
and they don't wanna do it. They just wanna come in and set up camp. So,
I can see that.
What the townships, when I was going through this, there was a lot of townships that, got behind and an AI center come in and didn't want it to come in, but one of the reasons was because they didn't have any specific zoning that would allow an AI center, a data center.
Yeah.
If a developer would approach our township and we have no zoning that would list an AI center as in,
Allowed.
allowed
Option.
anywhere, and we could put it under our general industrial, or we could make it a heavy industrial zoned area and put it by the river. It's just like our zoning, our plan ahead zoning that we have out here on 73. It's not turned to that yet, but it's in the planning stages that if we were gonna grow as a community, that would be the same thing. It isn't saying that that's right where we'd be, but
I get it, yeah.
if you don't have that available to a data center, then that's a free market. They can go wherever they want. So that's what some townships have found, that if they would have at least implemented some zoning in a industrial area, like by the mill or by the sludge pit over here or whatever, we can zone it as that, or put it in there as
heavy
Pro-
industrial.
proposed area for heavy industrial. We call data center heavy industrial. Well, they have to go there, whether it fits or not, and they don't have the power. That's their problem then. But at
And if
least
it's
they
not the
can't just
size.
go wherever they want. They
So
can't
you
just
could
pick.
even make it a small size of an area?
Yeah, or
Yeah.
but
You
at
know.
least they can't pick out a 40-acre parcel
Right.
next to a bunch of houses and say this is where we're going to put it because it's convenient for us.
That's good to know.
That's and that has been documented, so I can try to get some more information on that. But
This is what they were proposing in Port Washington?
Yes,
My God, that's huge.
yes, that's the Port Washington.
They gave, when you talk about legal costs, that's pocket change.
But that's something that
That I
I
mean,
don't know,
still,
Lorelei,
that's huge.
if our
This
town's
is a-
attorney
yeah.
can kinda help
Well,
us
that's
with.
meta.
Well,
That's-
I'm looking here at our ordinance
Meta,
right now
that's,
for general
Zuckerberg.
industry.
Yeah, you're
District,
talking, this is change for him.
isn't that what we're calling our industrial?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Our general industry district,
Yep,
ID, isn't that what we're calling our industrial district?
well, where is it? We don't have any zoning that,
Yeah, we do.
where? I didn't see it on the map.
Pollution
It's-
plant, don't you?
Pardon?
Pollution plant?
Yeah,
It's
but
not labeled on our zoning map here.
I think it is. I think it's over right by the bridge, right coming off the highway.
It's not in the. Well, this doesn't have the.
Yeah, I'm
But-
sure the
But
whole
what it,
area of the pollution plant was zoned
yeah.
heavy commercial.
But what it says though, this is where we're gonna get shot, because permitted uses, all permitted and conditional uses in the commercial districts would be allowed. So manufacturing, processing, assembly of component parts, that's allowed, it's a permitted use. Outdoor storage of industrial products, machinery,
Yeah.
equipment, and other materials, that would be allowed. A dwelling unit for a caretaker, and that would be allowed. Conditional uses,
Yeah, B, go to B on that, and that's exactly what
Yeah.
we're talking about.
yeah,
So but we don't have this district, we don't have any zoning that says this is where you have to put it. If you
I-
bring it here.
I really think it is. There. I thought it was. Has to be called up. I have the most updated map in my office. Let me take a look. Because I really thought it was. What page is it on?
34.
34.
I don't see it listed here at all, under any of this.
Read
Industrial
aloud.
is purple. Oh, okay,
That's what she's talking about.
okay.
So
Okay,
they're only
industrial is
purple
just
to
called
me.
Jersey, okay,
Yep.
yep,
Up there?
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't look at.
So they would have to go up here.
Well, if we
Where is that?
labeled that as.
Yep.
If we label the AI as, it
Data
is, it's
center,
just
data
industrial,
center.
it isn't general industrial, so I, that's my bad.
No, I get it. Yeah.
And I thought of that
acres
too
is that
myself,
right
at least there's water and it's away from everything
No, there's houses down,
down
By
here.
the-
The
Yeah.
subdivision
Yeah,
of butts right
there's-
next
yeah.
to it.
yeah,
Yep,
yeah, there is.
Yeah.
But in an operating
water
ordinance, couldn't you
treatment
put
plant's way
in
down
a,
here.
in a industrial area, X amount of miles from the
Yeah,
recent
yeah,
subdivision?
well, you would have that as a setback,
Right, as
or a
setback.
buffer zone
Yep,
from any
in an
residential.
operational ordinance.
And that might be a perfect fit for them, I don't know. But if they can keep from running the transmission lines from all these solar plants over there and saving themselves billions of dollars or whatever it'll cost, they'd rather put it
But
here.
the benefit to having it there, Rob, is not only for Saratoga, but Nakusa would have extraterritorial plat review of that. So they would have their say.
Okay.
So if they have any kind of ordinance too, that would come into play. Plus they'd say, we don't like what you're doing to the water as your neighbor, so no.
So do we add,
I think, yeah, we need to get,
and then
yeah.
how many subtitles to AI is there that somebody could skirt
well,
around? I mean,
data
that's,
center, don't use it interchangeably. If you just say AI, data center, but not every data center is
Is
AI.
AI, yeah, so you would have to just say
just
data
data
center.
well, we would have to have somebody more smarter than us to tell us the language
That's
that
why
would
we
have to
pay
do on
lawyers.
that.
Yep,
Mhm.
but we could definitely find some.
yeah, if Chrissy can find something.
We'll find at least some outlines of stuff that we could.
I haven't found anything for data centers, but I have found a lot with operation
ordinances
ordinances.
for solar.
Yeah,
Maybe we should consider, maybe at the next meeting, just under this general industrial,
we should have
labeling it.
updated that in our zoning, huh?
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, we can do it now, maybe CE, maybe F, we make it an
Has
F.
it been adopted?
I
by
don't
the
think it
county.
has yet, has it?
The county, we haven't had our meeting yet, our general meeting, and it hasn't gone to the county yet
So
either.
can we still add data centers in?
I don't see why not,
And then we could have 9
You
pages
got
of,
7 days.
yeah.
and we could have
Taking it
9
to the board
pages
next
of,
week.
our conditional uses for them, like we have for metallic mining.
Yeah.
We could throw the book in there.
We could.
7 days before it goes to the board.
It can't be updated between years?
Oh, yes, it can be.
It can be,
But then you're doing the whole public,
Thing,
But
yeah,
if
you're
we're,
doing all
yeah,
the,
if we wanna try to get something in,
even if we just data centers, conditional use data centers.
I mean, even if we went to operational ordinance route, we're not gonna get that in before.
well, no, but
What
if
about a
we,
separate ordinance? Just put data center under conditional use and then have a separate ordinance.
Would you, between your metallic mining,
That's what I'm wondering.
there's a couple other ordinances in there, can you just change your title?
Yeah,
I'm wondering if that wouldn't actually be
that's why I brought it up before. Yeah.
an option.
this is weird that this is the only one, because this right here is all sludge pit.
Yeah.
Well,
Good
that's
place
kind of
for it.
why it's there, I think. Yeah. Wasn't my
Yeah,
fault.
sludge pit was never.
Yeah, it should be on there.
Yeah.
Should be the same thing.
Well, if you knew how this original map was drawn, you would shake your head too.
Do we have to vote on that though?
It has to be a recommendation to the board, that's for sure.
To include it into.
To have something, to do anything. If we're gonna do anything to change that zoning ordinance before it hits the board, we gotta do it. And make a recommendation to the board. I would probably just change a sentence or add a sentence that says conditional uses data center, see data center ordinance, and make it a separate ordinance
Sure.
at this point in time.
Yep.
Because that way it would get in there.
That's, I would.
Under the general industrial,
What do you think,
District.
Dan?
But
With
if you
8.2.
put
Change the mining
data
order?
center in the ordinance, then you have to go through public hearing, don't you?
If we
Just-
put it in, but we're going through a public hearing for our zoning ordinance right now. It's coming up
Oh, okay,
next
next
week.
week.
So if we just add that verbiage, that sentence that says a data center would be a conditional use in the ID district, and then behind that one
See
sentence,
operations
see
ordinance.
operations ordinance,
Yeah, that'll work.
and make it a separate ordinance.
I think it's better to have it in there
That's got
now,
nothing to do with
and
zoning.
even if we have to rework it or redo it or reword it the next
Just
go
putting
around,
that
redo
verbiage
it,
in there?
but at least have the verbiage
Something.
We don't
in
have an
there,
industrial
so it
district.
is concrete. It's showing that if
Assessor.
something should come in
Yeah,
between
we
now
need
and then,
our
that
industrial
we had it in our plan.
Because zoning is just where we're putting it, it's not how we're putting it.
yeah.
What about solar? Because you said solar too.
I don't think it would be a bad idea to put a solar comment in there either, about conditional use.
Now tell me what you want, because I
I
would
would,
get
I
it in
would,
there.
I would word it the same exact way you just worded the data center under conditional use. You had F, data center, C, operations ordinance, B, C, D, E, F, G, solar arrays, C, operations
Operations
ordinance.
ordinance.
And then we'll put
We have
something
to
into
give them a
place.
Yeah.
I mean, in the solar ordinance, we have solar already. So are we gonna have more? We don't know. And it doesn't have to be, like I said, we can adopt something for now and modify it as we go. I'd rather be safe than sorry than to try to fight something through the courts that we weren't prepared to do.
Yeah, and if we have a separate ordinance, we don't have to go through the zoning ordinance to tweak it all the time either.
Exactly.
Right.
We can just
Right.
change it as we
Okay.
go.
So under general industry, I'm gonna put F, and what I'm gonna put is data center, or data facility, not a center, put a data facility,
Sure.
data facility. And then in parentheses, I'll put C data ordinance.
Yeah, or operations ordinance, data operations ordinance, whatever, yeah, whatever you need.
If we do operations ordinance, that, we could put the solar in that operations
Right.
ordinance too.
We could have multiple
Yeah,
paragraphs.
see,
in there.
Yes, you could.
operations ordinance. Okay. And then L, or G, I'm going to put solar facility. Do I want to put facility or just,
Array.
I would
Yeah.
put,
Well,
a solar facility would be the battery operation, the batteries and the field, and the array. Or do I just want to put solar? And leave it?
solar,
solar facility / array, just you got your whole. you
solar
got it all
operation.
Solar operation.
So-
Solar
solar
operation,
project,
covered. Sure,
whatever.
operations project, yeah, something.
solar
Solar
operations. And then in parentheses, C, operations ordinance. Okay, that will give us time to
Time
work
come
on
up
those.
with stuff.
Yep,
All right, I'll get that done.
Ordinance for
You need a motion for that.
Yes, I do.
solar, whatever can
I,
fall under
uh,
that, not a separate one for each one.
I think we'll
And
probably
we
decide
can
that
do
eventually.
Once
We
look
can
at
do
it.
They're
that
probably a
because
little
we
bit
are
separate,
talking
they're a
about
little
an
bit different,
operations
but
ordinance.
maybe,
Yep.
Okay.
I don't
So
know.
I would entertain a motion to, add the operations ordinance verbiage to the,
Include.
Zoning ordinance.
zoning ordinance.
I would make that motion to add our additions of operations ordinances to our zoning document.
Okay.
However you want to say it.
I'll second it.
I'll make sure that goes on the agenda.
Motion by Christie, second by James.
It doesn't have to go on the agenda.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Wow, we got a lot done. When it's that, but I think it's a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
If it's
I
going
don't
through
think-
these other days, we
I
have
don't
to
think
do
we can
something.
wait, we can't
It's
be
just a
dragging our
start,
feet
but
on
it's
this.
I
gotta,
agree with you.
yeah, it's
We
gotta,
just can't be dragging our feet.
This is moving so fast, you can't even buy a generator in the 100 megawatt range right now in the country.
Alright, item number 8. Discussion of town recreation plan. So, in the last meeting, we discussed, what we needed to do to get this ball rolling, right? Do we have any ideas on how we wanna tackle this project?
Well, last meeting, wasn't it, Rob, that the state land that we were talking about, some of it we thought could be used and some couldn't be?
yeah, I did talk to Jennifer Bergstrom again, and, about this, and we're talking about, how I just mentioned that our survey for our economic development showed that biking and hiking was the highest on the list compared to everything else, and she wants that data so that she could help us if we do go forward with it, but, she was talking about where and stuff, and she said that Rome had already contacted the DNR to possibly use the snowmobile bridge in the DNR land to get a bike trail that would cross the 10 Mile Creek without going on roads and
Sure.
keep continuing north through the solar area. And so Rome is already thinking way ahead of us already. So it would, that's all I know is
Should we be talking with Rome then? Or
we would have to at some point, but I guess we're gonna form a ad hoc committee, I guess is the way Adam mentioned it, so.
Yes.
Was that approved through the board?
That was approved. So now we need to discuss as a group how many people we want on that board. And who we should have as far as members of that board. Now, we discussed town board, one town board member, or I think we proposed one town board member, one plan commission member, and possibly two, but we don't all need to be on that board because
Right.
then we're just doing twice the work. The same amount of work, twice the people, right? So maybe one town board member, one plan commission member, and then residents of the, consistent of the rest.
Well, that's easy. It'd be just you.
Yeah, he's both.
Cause you're both anybody but.
Was there a
It's
number?
Win-win.
Was there a number on residents and our, just because I don't remember, I'm sorry, from last meeting. So
And I
if we're
don't-
doing an ad hoc, is this, like a paid position for town board member, plan commission, residents? Are we saying 2 or 3 residents? Are we saying 2 or 3 are assigned to the group and then public is invited? What is the?
I would say public would be welcome, right?
Oh, yes. So there's two board members approved for pay. But that doesn't mean that 3 can't come one week and 5 the next week, but only 2 are gonna get paid, and you guys
Got it.
decide which 2. It's either a board member and a plan commission member, or 2 plans, or however you wanna work it.
If I show up, I get paid twice.
Yeah, you go.
No.
There you go.
Yeah, so the board member and the plan commission member would be paid for that meeting, residents.
How are we gonna find the residents?
We have a sign out there.
We have a
We have
sign
a
and
website.
we have, the town Facebook, you could request. My thought is this, and when it comes to residents, because I've done public groups a million different times over the years, I would suggest that you recruit or you grab or you find 2 or 3 residents that are committed to being part of the, what do you want to call it? The committee.
Ideas,
Yeah, that they are committed to being a part of the committee. Like they can say, I'm a part of the rec blah 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 committee. And then everybody else that wants to come in is audience that is welcome to participate. I wouldn't just say, okay, we're having this meeting and you 2 are here and there is no committed residents showing up. And I definitely think you could find 2 or 3 residents in the township of Saratoga if we put it out there enough through social media and through announcements and through, hey, we're looking for you people that would be willing to be committed members of this committee. I really think it would not be a stretch to find 2 or 3 people.
No, an ad hoc committee doesn't need to do minutes and record and all that, do they?
I don't know that.
Yes,
They do.
yeah, if it's
it's
a
all-
meeting that's paid for by the town, there has to be some kind of minutes. And then those minutes will be brought to the plan commission and
And share.
to share. Yeah.
See, I always thought ad hocs were just a discussion group, really.
What if we didn't do it? for,
What if we didn't get
pay?
paid?
Yeah, what if we didn't get paid?
Well, then why have it if you're not gonna do anything?
No, I'm not, well,
Oh,
you're
as
coming
far
up
as
with
I mean,
ideas.
That way we don't have, well, it's gonna be a lot of work. There's gonna be a lot of
Yeah.
meetings with,
But isn't that the
Yeah, our
idea
people's
behind
gonna
it, is to help guide you for the changes that you're gonna make to the recreation plan? So wouldn't you want the plan commission to know?
yeah, they will, have to.
Yeah.
I'm with Christie though, we'd have to have, some citizens that